Hello everybody, I'm doing this live. I'm going to see how this goes. So what am I doing? Oh yes, I'm drawing. This is a cover for NarutoQuest Chapter 4. Is it 14? Is it 15? 1 second. Yeah, Chapter 15. Look, there's the pages. Oh my goodness, the pages. Yes, Chapter 15 is the one I'm working on. The pages are actually done. I've just got to come up with a cover. I've got a general idea of the title. The problem is I haven't got a clue what I'm doing at the moment. It's usually how it goes for me. I have no idea what I'm doing until I actually do it. Well, the razor's too small. So, but I go as fast as I can. But yeah, I'm getting an idea. I kind of start off with, oh yes, I have some thought. I want a character in it. In this case, the one I'm drawing at the moment is Hinata. Even though I'm going to rub that out, it's just there for looks, so I know where I'm going. Hopefully you can hear me. This is the first time I'm actually using, because I'm using Camtasia 8 to do my screen recording, and I've never actually screen recorded with audio before. I just usually capture what I'm doing and then go with it. Hopefully, if this kind of works, I'm thinking of maybe, just maybe, and no promises, of probably doing some live streams rather than screen recording, because I don't know, setting things up like for when I do the sketches, I have to set up my camera, and I've got a tripod constantly on my desk without the camera on. But setting it up, setting the lighting up, because I've got very poor lighting in here in my room where I work, and I know I don't want to spend 10-20 minutes making sure everything's right before recording, and then recording when I could be doing something else. Although I have to admit, on occasion I do kind of get distracted with either something on TV or a movie that I'm watching on my computer, or something on YouTube. So on that to go. Yeah. So yeah. So I thought I'd try this anyway. What's going on with me? Plenty of stuff. I've got a lot of projects going on, a lot of commissions. I'm getting through them slowly. Today I just finished a page commission that I do regularly every Wednesday for Nitro Goblin, or Brandy, the Outlands of Gefunden, and it's basically an anthropomorph comic where the main character is a cat who is a mechanic. I've been drawing the comic pages. Somebody else does the covers. That nose looks horrible, I think. Maybe put the ear in. And yeah, but yeah, it's a bit steampunkish. I do the background art, but I don't do the character art, because honestly I'm not very confident with my animal drawings, although I am trying to get better at them when I can find the time and reason to draw them. Something I've got to focus on. I'm also trying to learn to talk more, because I'm not much of a big talker, so I need topics to talk about, really, because I can talk about topics, if I know the topic, for quite a while, but it's a case of trying to figure out what topic it is that I want to talk about, because it's not always, I want to be interesting, but I'm not it's been a big problem of mine that I'm not sure what people find interesting when it comes to topics. I also say and a lot, so you know, if I wanted to spend the time, I'd probably just kind of go through this and continuously, you know, afterwards and edit it and go like, okay, got to take that out, got to take that out, but can't really do that with a live stream, so I've got to learn to excuse me, stop saying and so much. Oh, that nose is horrible. I'll fix it in a minute properly, but I like to kind of start off by trying to get the whole thing on the whole image on the page first, so I know what I'm doing, what I'm dealing with. Oh, actually, I want a bit more of a alluring eye. There we go. That's better. Or kind of, oh, I love you, Naruto. Ooh, I love you, kind of thing. So, let's have a look. Ooh, nose again. Give Hinata a nose job. There we go. Not that she needs one. She's very cute, but I have a problem with noses. You know, well, I got a lot of problems with a lot of things, but mainly no. There's certain things that I do. All right. Okay. Yes, that was my dad. This happens a lot. People just walk into my room, no knocking. But yeah, I have problems with certain things, and I keep trying to work on. I've been trying to work on my anatomy a bit more lately. I bought a book on anatomy specifically for artists, so I can learn a little bit more, get some tips. I mainly work off tips rather than kind of sitting down reading a book cover to cover about 4 or 5 times, you know, which I have done, but it's just too much information. So if I get stuck on something specific like muscles, because muscle tone is something I wanted to be working on, and hopefully people have noticed it a little bit in NHC. I mean, there are projects that I've done weeks in I have done in advance before posting that you might think, oh, well, I thought he improved, but you know, he doesn't look like he had. Well, I did those a while ago. Okay, so yeah, let's there we go. Just key in now for everybody's favorite part, the boob. Here we go. Here not just boob, because everybody likes boob. Yes, I am. You probably won't understand what costume I'm drawing right now because it is a new one I made specifically for the chapter, for the scene that I made, where basically she's in a dreaming of Naruto, or is she? And she's wearing something very nice. That was, oh, excuse me, that was a bit of a random design. You know, just thinking about it, my dad coming in. I should get one of those red lights that say at work, please do not disturb. But yeah, anyway, yeah, I'll probably do that to there. There we go. That's it. And then that one again, and then more mesh. Yeah. Ooh, itchy. Excuse me. But yeah, now I'll give it a second lag because I kind of want to. The way I actually want to do it is part of this is going to come out, so I've got to. Oop, just the mic. I haven't got much room. about there. Right. Okay. Right. Now let's fill it back in there. There we go. That'll be fixed like that. Probably want that to come down a bit more like that now because of the different angle, a bit more in gravity. Yeah, okay. Now then, for the other character of Naruto. I'll just no, that's too big. There we go. Yeah, let's see how long this is. Right. Kind of want more of a side shot for this one, I think. Yeah, I still use the basics of the basic shapes of drawing people. You know, sometimes if when I'm doodling, I don't worry so much. I kind of might lightly sketch them if I'm going for a specific pose, but a lot of the time I'll just kind of sketch in the pose using basic skill, but then the rest I'll just kind of draw straight without any pre-plan or any setup for it. But yeah, a lot of the time I'm just gonna end up just doing it this way anyway, just because it's easier and better to get it how I want. A lot of the time, because a lot of the time when I've just gone straight in and drawn it, it doesn't work out unless it's something funny like a simple like a chibi. I can just go straight with a chibi, you know, drawing the head or whatever. But yeah, most of the time it's just me doing basic drawing skill, which I recommend anybody who's drawing to learn, because doodling is fine, but when you want something to look properly good or balanced, you know, it's an essential skill. And that's something I learned. I mean, I'm completely self-taught, so I kind of did everything the wrong the wrong way for a long time, and you know, I got tons of books and looked at it. I looked online on tutorial sites. Excuse me, I need a drink. Oh, I got a cup of tea in my drinking tea out of my Marvel Comics mug. Oh, it's got a bit cold. Where was I? Oh, but yeah, I've learned a lot, and the last few years, as people have been praising me and saying, and I've been like, why are people praising me? Why are people saying, oh, you're brilliant, you're great? You know, when obviously I don't think I am. So I thought, you know, I can't keep taking praise if I haven't got the skills. So I thought, well, I'm gonna get myself some skill, and I really started focusing on it because I mean, originally when I started doing comics, I was doing them just because I like telling stories, and yeah, I like comics, I like animation. I mean, animation is what I want to go into at some point. You know, well, was what I wanted to go into. I mean, I still want to, but I don't think I'll ever leave comics now. I mean, I've just had too much fun. You know, I like drawing comics. I want to get into more original stuff, obviously, but I think fan work is brilliant. It's even going again, and but doing fan art and stuff like that, love doing it, and I think I'll be doing it rest of my life. I think, but you know, I've got a lot of focuses, and I've got to learn things. I mean, eventually I want to do a video game. I've been learning a bit of Unity. That helps with CG anyway, because I've been doing CG since I was in college, but very basic. Again, self-taught on that side. I used to use 3D Studio Max, which I still do, but doesn't really run on my computer very well. So I haven't really stuck to it. I do some model making, houses and stuff like that. But I've always taught myself stuff. When I was a kid, I taught myself architectural drawing. So I used to do house plans and house planning and stuff like that. You know, and then it was script writing. Yeah, well, it was basically fan fiction writing. I've been doing that since I was like 12 years old. Mostly original stuff. They honestly terrible stuff. I don't think I've got anything I'd written back then, but eventually I ended up going into writing scripts, which eventually got me to college, studying media, because they were just doing a new course of studying media. I think it was because I went in to look see if they did an A-level course in media, and then they were saying, and the guy came in who ran the media department said, "Well, we've actually got a new course. It's called the AVCE or Advanced Vocational Certificate in Media." It was just general media stuff. You know, you still did filmmaking and whatnot. And I did that for a year, and then went on to the next course, which was 2 years. And then I did the next course, which was another 2 years. And I ended up getting a HND, or Higher National Diploma, in media production. Well, film and television production. So I am a qualified filmmaker, or TV and film maker. I write scripts, I make TV shows, and it set me on the path. I made a friend there called Brendan, who loved drawing manga and anime. I mean, I was already a fan of manga and anime anyway, but it wasn't. But I was drawing mostly DC and Marvel at that point in time, that point in my life. Oops. And we tried to make a comic together, which constantly kept failing. He wasn't interested. But he inspired me to try drawing more manga style, which was a bit easier than the realistic style of Marvel and DC, and I really quite enjoyed it. So I ended up just drawing more manga style. So and then after college, I kept applying for places near me. I applied for a place called Gems TV, and they basically told me I was a bit too overqualified. Basically, I talked to a couple of people about it later on, and who had gotten in there. I mean, Brendan himself and another classmate, they got in, and they basically said, you know, they weren't wanting people with too much ambition, because they didn't want to hire somebody if in 6 months a year later, they'd have to replace them because they've been looking for another job and got their dream job, you know. So I mean, unfortunately, he didn't say much from my mates, but it was a shame. But and I applied to other places. Birmingham had a good place I wanted to go to, but I failed on that because I can't remember why. I think there was a place up in the town near us, Redditch. They were looking for something, an editor. I didn't fit that point because I didn't have a car. I still don't have a car, and that turned into the biggest thing for me. Because I didn't have a car, I couldn't get the jobs that I was going for, or aiming for, which was kind of stupid. But so I started making comic books. Well, just little comics and fan art while I was, practicing my drawing and stuff. I mean, I still filmed with another mate of mine, Neil Davidson, or Magic Neil. You'll probably he's on Twitter. I still talk to him a lot, and he's got his own little film company called Armored Films. So they're not doing a lot at the moment. They're doing a lot more planning and working with other people at the moment, so they haven't got anything major. But they've got some good films coming up, which I'll probably be helping them with at some point because they can be awesome. They're good people. Him and Dave, they're Mark, sorry. Okay, Mark's going to kill me because his name's Mark, not Dave. Dave's another friend of Neil's, but Mark and Neil, they're doing some. So I often film with them, do some acting and editing and camera work with them. But in the meantime, I continue doing comics and commissions and stuff like that, and which is a lot of fun, and it keeps me busy. And well, now it's giving me money because I'm doing it more as a business, and hopefully it'll continue on for a while. But I'm also working on other things, like at the moment. If you're on my Patreon, you already know this, but I am working on a small 3-minute fan animation. Unfortunately, no, not a Naruto fan animation. I wanted to try something different. I've been a big fan of The Legend of Zelda for as long as I can remember. Playing on the Game Boy, Link's Awakening, as well as A Link to the Past on the Super Nintendo, and then the Naruto 64 with the Ocarina of Time. I actually really like the Ocarina of Time more, so a lot of it is kind of based on those designs, although I will mix it up a bit. I've still got a long way to go. I've only finished the first background because it took a while because that one was a largely animated background, but I have done the storyboard for it, and it came out about just over 3 minutes. So it should be about, because I haven't got all the timings down yet. And there was a couple of extra shots that I want to actually get in now. Excuse me, that I've got the first bit in, and I need to get basically some extra shots of, because the opening shot is in Kakariko Village, and so I want a couple more shots of Kakariko Village in which I'm going to animate a few background characters just randomly before the actual main scene starts. There isn't a lot of Link in it except at the end, but I think it's a cool way of bringing him in. It's currently being called Legend of Zelda Knights of the Triforce. I've got a whole idea for a full series of like 5-10 minute animations, where basically Link is brought in by Zelda to help safeguard the Triforce, you know, basically being her personal guard, essentially. And I was thinking of adding other characters in, but that's the kind of like it's the same. I do this all the time. I kind of overthink what the project I'm doing more than it needs to be, mainly because I like giving, you know, I don't like leaving everything. If it does succeed and work out really well, I've got everything planned in my head at least, um, about what I'm going to do. If it does do anything, 1 second, can't think. If it does, you know, so people do like it and they say, "Oh, can you do more?" Because I think that at the end of the day, that's all I kind of want. I want people to say, "Matt, this is brilliant. Can you do more?" I mean, I might not be able to, but at the same time, I can't just think, "Oh, this is going to be a one-time." Oh, what am I doing? Oh, I've increased my. Forget my shortcuts. 1 second. I have to think about the positive things. I mean, if I think that something is going to happen with it, then I've got to be prepared. But if it doesn't, you know, it's fine. You know, like with NHC, I never actually expected it to be what it was, and so a lot of my idea. So when I originally made it, I didn't really plan a lot of what I was doing, so I ended up having to plan it on the cuff, and it is surprising. I mean, it can be a bit of a letdown if you when you plan ahead and you think, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and nobody likes it, or it doesn't go as well as you want to. It doesn't kind of come out, you know, like with an RG. I mean, people like an RG, but it didn't kind of come out as much as exactly how I wanted it to. I think I rushed a few things, and it. I don't know. The story was supposed to be a lot more romantic, and I think I kind of sped up the romance a bit too much. I made them get together too much. I didn't develop the characters as well as I originally would have liked to, because originally I just kind of wanted to get it out. You know, this little story that I had an idea for. Because originally the idea for Onaji started with another Naruhina project that I was going to do after I finished All for Naruto. It was like a Naruto Gaiden story, but it starred Naruko and Hinata as high school girls, kind of coming into their own thing, where basically Naruko was a tomboy. You know, she even played. You know, she played soccer, and she was a good player, and it turns out that she has a crush on another girl. You know, and she doesn't really want to. You know, she wanted to deal with uh you know being gay, and how all that worked for her, as well as Hinata. And then there was the family issues of, you've got Kushina, who was very supportive of Naruko being a lesbian, against Hiyashi, who was very stoic about his daughter being, possibly being a lesbian. Although that would have been a lot later on, because he wouldn't have, because this was Hinata's belief at first. That liking a girl is wrong, and Hinata kind of, Naruko was one of her best friends. I mean, I kind of touched to this story a bit more in the flashback to Rina's ex best friend, where during a anime convention, Rina basically comes on to her friend and confesses, and because she'd fallen in love with her, and the friend basically, it's accepting at first, but then kind of things kind of they kind of go their separate way. Although in excuse me, in RG, it kind of worked out that they basically separated and didn't see each other for a while. They kind of drifted apart. Excuse me, getting over a cold. But in the other one, the Naruto one, which I still have all of the pages for. I think I actually drew about 50 odd pages for it and it hasn't been released. And I can't remember what it's called now, but wait, let's have a look. Naruto projects. No, is it in Naruto? Others. Naruto projects. Oh yeah, falling for her. I mean, I kind of started it off. 64 pages. I basically have. I haven't drawn the first 20 because originally it started page 20. It literally started on here, and there was a flashback, and lots of other stuff happened, and there was a lot more sex in it, to be honest. But it kind of came from. I mean, this was the cover for it. I mean, you could see by the start how old it is. I mean, when did I actually make this? Does it say? Rough it is. Yeah, 2004, 2010, or something like that. I made that, and but yeah, I got the first 20. I literally redesigned the entire opening by adding a fresh 20 pages and basically an entire chapter of how it all kind of came to be. You got the city, you got her playing soccer, and then the friends and stuff, and then seeing Hinata, them kind of being friends, going, and then eventually kind of kissing, and so on and so forth. And basically, there's a lot of other stuff, like you got Sasuke who's jealous because Naruko is pretty much the star, and he basically tried. There is some come on to her, because he wants to kind of. All the girls love him, love Sasuke in this, so kind of nothing changes, from the main stuff, and that kind of goes wrong. There's he comes on a bit too strong, and there was a scene where basically it was like he came on too strong, and it kind of felt a bit too rapey. He even put in the moment that he kind of realizes what he's doing and stuff like that, and it kind of gets into this point where I was going to have this scenario where some of the girls end up getting jealous of her because Sasuke starts paying attention to her more. But all the while she's trying to get with Hinata, who's kind of avoiding her because of what had happened, because they kissed, and she's trying to deal with that, and they're dealing with their emotions and stuff like that. In the end, I kind of and that's what I ended up doing in the flashback, because in Anaji that sort of went away. That I didn't intend it to, because I intended it to be this kind of I mean, you probably realize it by reading it, that originally I was going to have Mizuki be so afraid of it that she kind of runs away, and that's what I did do. But I think I kind of rushed through it because she was pretty much over it within a few chapters, and I wanted it to be this kind of discovery of sexuality, of a sexuality that she didn't consider, and the reasons for it being that, it's how you're brought up, or how other people think. I did a scene where she was afraid what her father would think, and he was totally cool with it. That was how Kushina was going to be. Naruko was going to be like, oh, my mom's going to be kind of, she's good and all that, but she's going to spaz out at me. She's going to be really angry if she finds out I like girls and stuff like that. But she was just going to be completely cool because, Kushina's totally cool. Mom for the win, But in the end, I kind of switched it around, because Mizuki was kind of the Hinata character, while Rina was the Naruko type character in that respect. But as I went along, I kind of I thought I'd swap it round and have Mizuki's being friendly, and I'm sure, as most people have gathered, Rina's parents don't actually know she's gay. They, I mean, they don't know. There's a lot they don't know about her, because she is scared because of what her her best friend's reaction was. She didn't want to lose theirs, and there are, her dad's kind of one of these people who grown up, like with women, should like women, and that they shouldn't be, that how hard is that, it's more natural, as it were, the old-fashioned reason. And but I wanted to originally do it as a Naruko Narihina type story, but at the end of the day, I'm trying not to do as much original fan work and just stick to proper fan work. Like NHC and all for Naruto. It's like eventually I'll kind of filter all for Naruto. I will finish all for Naruto at some point. It's just kind of getting around to it. It's on my desk. I mean, let's have a look. Let's go back. Naruto others. Naruto projects. There you go. All for Naruto. Right. I mean, look. I've got pages. They're getting done. I haven't inked that one yet. I mean, I haven't toned that one yet. I've got to ink these. I've got to set all these up, and that's all I've got to do. I mean, I've got 4 pages finished. I think I've still got to do. I've still got to do the cover, I think. But then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, about 10, 11 pages. No, 10 pages left to ink, and that's the cover there, but I haven't finished it yet. Yeah, so it is coming. It's just getting to it, which I will in time. I've got so much to do. It's just a case of kind of saying, okay, I'm not doing anything. I'll do this, but it's not a. When I get to those points, I kind of want to just do something different. Excuse me, rather than other stuff that I should be doing. And I'm sure anybody who's ever done anything for that they do constantly, like drawing or games or something. You know, when you play a game long enough, you kind of, you know, like if you play RPGs, nothing but RPGs, occasionally you'll want to play a shoot 'em up or a beat 'em up game. You know, you play Call of Duty for 62 hours straight. You know, even if you're a fan of Call of Duty, you might kind of feel like, you know what, I'm gonna play a bit of Legend of Zelda, or I'm gonna play Tomb Raider, or I'm gonna play Final Fantasy. The same thing, but very different. You know, kind of like it's still kind of third person, but you know, it's not always generally first person. But you kind of just want that different theme, or you want that different pace, and how it that's how it goes sometimes. You know, it's like I've been drawing Naruto all day. I kind of want to draw something else, and that's where a lot of my projects end up kind of getting sidetracked. You know, I might even, you know, I've got a lot of projects on as well. I'm not just saying it's constantly me going, oh, I can't be bothered. You know, I do a lot of work for I Love Kim Possible a lot. You know, I enjoy doing that, and you know, but that can eat up a good couple of hours sometimes if I've got something on to do. Then I've got commissions I got to do because I got to earn money. If my Patreon was a bit big, was a bit more, I probably wouldn't take on commissions as much and just do more personal work. You know, self-plugging there. Sponsor me. You know, go to Patreon, just donate $1 a month. You get things ahead of schedule. You know, early releases on comics like NHC, NQ, and RG. The minisodes, you'll get them 1 week earlier than you would on DeviantArt, unless I'm behind, and then usually it's just like a DeviantArt will get the first couple of pages, and then while I'm finishing up the rest. If you put $5 in, you get actually all of the early work, including the rough work, because you get the rough work first before it's edited. Sometimes, maybe not all of it. You know, it's like NHC. If I'm too busy editing it, I won't bother posting the roughs, but I'll post the roughs of NQ once this cover image is finished. I'll actually be posting it on Patreon for $5 for people to look at with all of the pages all raw, unfinished, so they get before the chapter, and that's for $5. I mean, I've got other ones like $10 and $20, but I'm not really doing much for them at the moment. I do feel bad about that, but they get all the original stuff. When it's original stuff, that's what they get. Fan art, fan work, basic stuff that the smaller projects. That's the $1, $5, $10, $20 is the original works, written works, and the stuff that are taking a long time to do. For $5 at the moment, you can actually see the animation progress, which I will be updating more for the $5, where you'll see all my backgrounds that I'm working on. I'm trying to go for an anime style for this Zelda animation, so it should hopefully look very good. I'm getting some advice from another artist called Smiten 4TW, or Smiten for the win, basically. Um, he's helping out. He's even been interested in getting me to help with some of his backgrounds, if it's an emergency, because he liked the style of background I do. So we'll see how that goes. So that might be even more projects, so, which I don't mind. He's a pretty good animator. I quite like his stuff. I'll plug him here. He has something called In Game, in which it's basically an animation, and it's based in an RPG game, kind of like World of Warcraft or the Elder Scrolls, that kind of medieval type thing. And all the characters who live there, that they all, I'm not sure if they're actually in a game, but it's basically they all live under game rules. You know, if you die, you come back. You know, you just get instantly resurrected. You know, so you earn experience. You know, you can get loot and stuff like that. And it is quite funny. He just recently, I think last week was it, he released episode 3. Oh, I was laughing my head off. Just because they found something. The sword with like plus 100 comfort, and anybody who was like touching it was like, oh my god, oh, it's so comfy, it's so good, you know. And it ends up ending up in another fight, and oh, it was just amazing. And the way he's animated it is really good. He's done a lot of. I first found him a few years ago, but I wasn't really paying much attention, to be honest, until recently. He used to do a lot of Naruto animations, like fight sequences, and that's how I originally found him, because I was kind of looking into animation a few years ago, and being, you know, a huge Naruto fan. I think I found him there. I can't remember if somebody recommended him or not, but I saw some of the stuff and I thought, oh, Smite for the win. Okay, I'll follow his blogger, and I followed his Patreon, because he's also on Patreon. He's currently trying to do 3-minute animations a month, which, to be honest, I'm trying to do a 3-minute animation, and I don't think I could do that in a month, but he's got a lot more experience than I have, so hopefully I can try and get to that level once this Zelda animation's done. Because it's all for experience for me at the moment. If something comes of it, I mean, I've still got a lot to do. I mean, once the backgrounds are done, I've actually got to write the dialogue, because all I've done is basically make an outline for it, what's going on, what kind of scenarios happening. But that's about it. I haven't actually written any dialogue. I mean, there are 4 characters that actually talk in it, and that is there's 2 goons, basically, who were basically stealing from the store in Kakariko Village, and they're kind of like, hey, what's going on? I just stolen everything. Hey, gonna kick everybody's ass, and you know, that kind of gruff kind of people. And then you've got Navy. Yes, I know a lot of people don't like Navy, and in the game she can be annoying as hell. But I kind of like the idea of the fairy being a friend. And ooh, stupid lines, come on. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Give me that top part. But yeah, so yeah, I like the idea of the fairy, so I'm gonna have Navy in there, but I'm kind of not trying to make her as annoying. She's kind of helpful, kind of a bit more childlike. There's also a kind of a new thing that's going on that I thought of with fairies, where they're actually very rare to see, and there are people who would actually buy them because they have there's another ability that I added in that I always wondered where Link puts a lot of his stuff in the games. So I thought, well, maybe why not have the fairy carry it? You know, she has a dimensional thing. So actually, in the animation, you see him with a bow and arrow first, and then when he wants to pull out his sword, which he actually wears, he literally kind of has Navy take the bow from him in a magical way, so for a magical storage. So I thought that, it's like, so there's kind of like some stuff going on there. He's already kind of special because he has a fairy. but then there's you know, they've got their own interactions, and I'm trying to write that. I'm not going to make Link like the old Link from the really old crappy 80s cartoon, which actually I quite enjoyed watching at the time, but being a fan. But I I want him to be this kind of overly nice guy, who has only the best intentions, kind of like the proper Link. He's always got the best of intentions. He wants to be the hero, and there is stuff, but I mean, there are other ideas I've got, like when the actual story begins, that they bring in other characters. I was thinking having like a team, kind of be a team up type thing, where Link and Zelda decide they're going to have a team of people who can help out Link, because of whatever big disaster I decide is actually kind of looking up, and I've got lots of ideas for it, including the bad guy, who isn't the first bad guy wouldn't, the first bad guy of the series wouldn't be Ganon. Excuse me. But he would be Ganon in the sense that of one of the designs, because I like the Ganon design from Ocarina of Time, the big tall guy with red hair. I love that design. But in the older games, Ganon is actually like a kind of warthog, pig demon, or whatever he is. But I was thinking maybe having that design for the first bad guy, but it not be Ganon, and have some big twists come in and whatnot. But, I don't want to give too much away in case people do decide that, Matt, your animating style is brilliant, make more. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of changes that I want to make just because I'm a fan. I mean, one thing I hate about adaptations is that people make a lot of changes for absolutely no reason. They take things out of a story because it don't fit or whatnot. What I want to do is just kind of, I don't know, alter some of the lore a little bit, just to make it, make it a bit more interesting, to open up the world a bit, because we really never know much about the world that they come in. What kind of stuff goes on, how are rupees made, and that's kind of stuff I'd like to touch up on if I ever did a series, and I'd like to change a few concepts as I go along. But again, like I said, it all depends on if I did more animations. I mean, this 3-minute tester, I suppose you can call it like a pilot tester, see what people think, see if my style works, see if I can actually make it for which is the most important bit, because if I can make animations, which is something I would love to do. And it probably, whether it be just some other simple animations, short ones, or actually go for a full length movie or episode, or something like a full length short. I would probably say would be more my my length. Like 20 minutes. Get some actual music in. A big project, but I'd probably do a GoFundMe on that if I try to do something like that. I'd probably do a GoFundMe. I mean, I don't want to. What I don't want to do is step on Nintendo's toes, because it will. The Zelda animation is literally just a fan project, just because I love it, and you got Breath of the Wild coming out this year, which is going to be awesome. I'm totally I really want to get a Switch just to play that game. I mean, I got a Nintendo Wii just so I could play Twilight Princess. I haven't really played anything after that, so now there are certain games I will buy consoles for. Like I might get a PS4 just so I can play uh, the Final Fantasy VII remake because I am a big fan of the Final Fantasy remake, and I hope if they do a once this is done, it shows that okay, remaking Final Fantasy is good. They'll remake 8 and 9 because they were, blooming awesome, and I am hoping that it will work out, and I don't. I try to save a lot. I'm not like a skinflint or anything, but I like to save my money and I don't like to spend it willy nilly because there will be things that I will want. I grew up not having a lot of money um, to spend. It was everything. Even it's the same today. Everything I earn these days and everything I earned when I started working was well, when I first started, I was just spending a lot because I grew up uh, with very little to spend on myself, except when it was like birthdays or when we inherit something from a you know dead grandparent or something. It's like dead relative, and you get a bit of money, and you're like 13, 14. I mean, my nan on my dad's side, she died. First thing I bought was a Nintendo N64. About 150 quid, I think it was then. I can't remember, but you know, I'm glad I bought it because I do love games. But I've bought every console that I've ever owned, except for the N60. No, except for the Super Nintendo and our PlayStation PSX, or as we used to call it, the Grey Station. And 1 second, I've got to answer somebody. So it's telling them I'm recording. And basically, because I spent so much constantly on myself, it kind of taught me that I'm not going to have a lot of money all the time because I'd lose my job and stuff like that, and it was a case of I've got to grow up a bit, and I know I became more of a savings person because it was difficult for me to get a job after college and money was scarce. I think the biggest things I used to spend on was when I used to go to Texas for my vacations for a couple of months at a pub. For those who remember when I used to do that. But then even that money ran out and I couldn't do that, and so I did. I know I did. There are things that I've wanted that I've never really had people buy for me. I mean, it's like I don't borrow money off my parents very often, or if at all now. But I couldn't buy a car to get myself a job, and I couldn't ask my parents because they couldn't afford to get me a car. They couldn't even afford to put me on the insurance. I had to pay for my own driving lessons and stuff like that. I've had a full license for a number of years now, and probably driven a grand total of 40 minutes in all those years. It's so sad, but maybe I'm hoping I'll get a car this year, but I've been saving a bit better this year. I mean, there's still stuff I want to buy that I don't need, but it's a case of saving up. Like I want to get a Wacom and Cintiq, which is basically, uh, for those who don't know, a tablet with it, it's just basically a monitor tablet. You plug it into your computer and you basically draw directly onto the screen. And I think it would massively improve my artwork, my digital artwork. You know, like you're seeing here. I think it'll definitely improve it a lot. But they cost a fortune. Is his head big enough? I don't think his head's big enough. There we go. But they cost a couple. They cost like a $1.5 grand for me. I mean, if you people know of any good quality LCD tablets like that that are good to draw with, or even just like what do you think of an iPad? If you can, if you can recommend those, please, comment below. But what do you think of that? What do I think of that? Turn the roughs off. Don't know. I think he's a bit. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think it's got a T. Yeah, that's better. But yeah, it's those things. I mean, we'll see. Sorry, I'm rambling so much. Like I said, I never know what to talk about, unless I've got a topic. And I went from projects to talking about my money complaints. Let's right. Let's increase this size a bit more. 14. But yeah, where was I? Ah, yes. Did I actually make anything with that? No. Right. But yeah, that's what I was trying to talk about. But yeah, the animation, I hope to be working on a lot more. I'll be doing I think I mentioned I'll be doing the backgrounds first, and then the character art, the character animations, because I want to redesign Link just slightly from his Ocarina of Time design. Keep it very similar, maybe kind of mix a bit of Ocarina of Time, a bit of Twilight Princess, maybe some other designs, maybe a bit of my own. See how that goes. And we'll see how we go from there. The Nagi, I'm hoping to get back into as soon as I can. Same with all for Naruto and other projects. As for commissions, I've got so many to do. I mean, I've got a ton of requests, which I'm slowly working through at the moment. The pre 2015, I'm almost finished with the first couple of commissions. Hoping to finish that list and then get onto the 2015 list plus, so I can get that sorted, because what I want to do is try and clear the list of everything, and then I can just focus more on commissions and then take a limited amount of requests. Personal friends will probably get priority, obviously. But I'm gonna try and do my best in that regard. But I have a big trouble, and a lot of my friends have said this, that I do have a lot of trouble saying no. which is my because I do like doing things with people. I've always been that kind of person, and it does. And people, there are people who have taken advantage of it. I've had friends who've taken advantage of that. They've asked me around. So I'll be buddy, and then say, "Oh, Matt, can you do this for me?" And I'll be like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" But that's just how I am. I've never really. I grew up not having many friends. I was very quiet because I had problems with being bullied and stuff like that, and lots of personal problems growing up. And so it was very difficult for me to make friends or, stuff like that, and even with family. But I've gotten better. When I started college, I actually got taken out of school because uh, I kind of got violent going in because I refused. I flat out refused. There was one incident where I actually kicked a teacher because she was trying to get me into school. Looking back at it, I'm very sad that I ever did it, but when you're freaking out, there's a problem there. So I was taken out of school for a while, and it wasn't until college that I finally kind of slightly came out of my shell, thanks to a gentleman called Junior. He kind of he was very much a people person. He was studying media. He was a bouncer at the time up in Birmingham, and I know he just wanted to get it to know everybody, and he kind of insisted, "No, you're coming with us. You're gonna have a beer. You're gonna or have a drink," because I think I was 17 at the time, so I couldn't actually have a beer. Uh, but nice guy, and he kind of helped open me up a bit. He didn't last very long, unfortunately. He ended up leaving the course that we were on, that I was on, for personal reasons. I think he just couldn't take the time from his job or something. I really don't know. And but it kind of meeting up with one person can change your life. Don't think it can't. But yeah, until then I was very shy, and I've gotten better over the years. I kind of stopped caring what people thought of me, thanks to the internet, basically, with people being so supportive, and then having people flame you for the exact same thing people were supporting you for. You kind of think, well, that's kind of stupid. Is it good or is it bad? And you kind of realize that sometimes people's opinions don't matter. It it's a case of live with it. I still get kind of bummed out if people are saying, you get a couple of people being really harsh, oh, this is shit, excuse me, this is terrible and stuff like that. It can get kind of, I don't want to do this anymore kind of feeling. I'll never give up, but you have that feeling, what's the point? And then I remember the point is I enjoy doing it. And there are people that I do this for, and that's basically my readers and watchers and people who literally say, "Matt, I enjoy your work. I do it for that. My audience are my reason and why I want to make more content for them. You know, and why I find I can't say no half the time, because I feel I kind of owe my watchers and readers and stuff like that something for being so supportive, because they are absolutely awesome and I love them a lot for it. Not to be sappy or anything, but I would hug and kiss you all if I could. You know, for the gentleman, a nice sturdy handshake, of course. I don't want you to be left out, but I don't want to cross any boundaries. or that you're not very help, you might not like. So, but yeah, I do it for you guys. I know a lot of people say that. I've heard a lot of people say, "Oh, we do it for you, the fans," and then they do something where it's like, "Well, I thought you were doing it for us," and they're not. They end up just doing it for the money, and I can understand a lot because, to be honest, I need money a lot, to keep going. I wanna, I still live at home. Well, we kind of live in a small flat or apartment for some people who don't know what a flat is. But I want a nice place. I want a car, which isn't as important as it used to be to me. I mean, I would love to get a car by the end of the year. That's one of my goals. But if I could start making lots of money, I'd be like, screw a car. I'll get a house first, or I'll go on vacation, or I'll move to America or somewhere else. Get somewhere nice and warm. Move to Texas or move to New York or California or something, somewhere nice where I can relax while I watch the ocean or something, while I make more comic books. I mean, if I make this animation and then a couple of weeks later you get like someone like Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network come up to you going, look, or even Netflix, that would be awesome, saying, okay, we like your animation. Can you, we got Nintendo's permission. We'd like you to make a full series. I'd be like, le gasp. Whether they'd want me to move to America for ease or something, I don't know, but I would do it. If they say, yeah, we want you to make a TV series or a comic book, but unfortunately, due to some sort of business concern, we'd like to pay you in American dollars, so you're going to have to move over to here, to make it worthwhile and all that. I probably would, just because it'd be my career. That would, I don't mind moving if I have to. I miss me family. I love me family, but my mum would understand. She'd be all for it, to be honest. She'd want me to be, as long as I'm happy, she's happy. And it'd be nice to be an American or British American. Then my family can come visit me for holidays. They'd get something free. I hope you can hear. I hope you guys. I hope I'm not talking and nobody can hear me because the mic is actually next to my head, not in front of me. It's on a boom arm, but the boom arm was set up for my other computer, my smaller laptop for voice recording. This one's plugged into my actual graphics computer that I use purely for drawing and editing drawings and videos. So I've got one computer. So I've got basically a dedicated computer. Yep, that is good. I've got to save that. 1 second. Oh dear, you shouldn't see that. Right, NarutoQuest. There we are. Right, chapter. What chapter am I on? I keep forgetting what chapter I'm on. Chapter. ch15 cover line art. Right. How long have I been going for? 1 hour 14! Oh my god! I think maybe I should end it there. I think I will, because all I got to do is add the black, add the tone, and it'll be ready for the cover. Anyway, I'd like to thank you for sticking around for this long. I know it's a really long stream, and I hope you enjoyed it. Maybe if you think it was good, and maybe I've got to do some other. Nope, wait, no, it's fine. If you liked it, please give a thumbs up on the like below. Make any comments you like. I love them. Love listening to good ones. If there's anything you'd like to see me draw, whether in the sketch video or another screenshot like this, or if you'd like me to do an actual stream, comment below. Tell me what you'd like to do, and I will try my best to do it. If I can say have one stream a week, if that's what you want, I will try and do that. If you'd like to hear more about my animation, I'll try and get some stuff available for that. Give you some sneak previews. If you're not on Patreon, that is. If you're on Patreon, you will be getting some new backgrounds soon for viewing. You've had 2 videos already. And I'll get more stuff to you soon. Keep an eye on my DeviantArt, my Twitter, which all the links are below. And yeah, hopefully next video will be a bit shorter, but if not, well, I hope you enjoyed this length, and I hope you enjoy the future lengths. Thank you very much, and goodbye.